Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm testing out two products from a collection, the Lasting Perfection Foundation and Concealer, and these have been all over YouTube for the last, I'd probably say about 10 years. I remember when I first started watching YouTube and Zoella was raving about this concealer, and they have just recently extended their shade range. So they now have 20 shades in both the foundation and the concealer. The concealer is £4.19, the foundation is £6.49, so they're super affordable. So if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and also make sure to hit the bell icon just so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And with the shades, I'm not too sure if they're the best shade match for me. I just basically looked on the website and thought this one might go well with my skin tone. So I have this shade 10 Buttermilk in the foundation and 7 Biscuit in the concealer. And I did want to have a concealer that was a couple of shades lighter than the foundation, but I didn't want it to be super light. And they do have some ideas on what each shade is for. So light, medium skin tones, fair skin tones, deep skin tones, and they also say about the undertones as well. So hopefully these are going to be the best match for me. They've recently changed the packaging and I feel like this packaging looks so beautiful. It looks so much more expensive than it actually is. It's frosted glass packaging and you also get a pump in there as well. So the pump does look a little bit more cheap than the rest of it, but for £6.49 you can't really complain if it doesn't look the most high end of products. They also have extended their shade range as well. You now get 20 shades in the foundation and the concealer, and also the concealers and the foundations have exactly the same shades to them as well. So the foundation says that it's a matte foundation up to 16 hours of wear, SPF 30, 6-in-1. It primes, conceals, covers, smooths, protects and mattifies. It's also water resistant, transfer proof, full coverage, no clogged pores, and it also has 27 millilitres, so a little bit smaller than the average drugstore foundation. But to be honest, for how affordable it is, I'm not really going to moan about the extra 3 millilitres that it's taken out. And on the website it says that it's now available in 20 shades. The matte full coverage foundation seamlessly blends for a flawless complexion. The new Lasting Perfection foundations features a new look and feel, but with the same much love formulation, just with an added extra SPF 30. It also has 16-hour wear, matte finish. It's vegan, buildable, blendable and breathable, and also sweat proof. And with the shades, they are pretty good. They go from very, very fair all the way to very deep as well, and they do have several different undertones. They have cool, neutral and warm undertones, and they also have some in between as well. And with the concealer, it says the ultimate 16-hour wear concealer is now available in new perfect skin matching shades. Lasting Perfection Concealer's vegan formula is buildable, blendable and effortlessly covers and conceals blemishes and dark circles for a flawlessly smooth base. The lightweight liquid concealer glides onto the skin easily with a doe foot applicator. 16-hour wear, buildable, blendable and breathable, vegan, sweat proof and same amazing formula as well. I'm so excited to test these out. I can't wait to see how they go, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in and test these out and see how they go. So I've looked at the website and the best way to apply it, and it doesn't really say anything. So what I'm going to do is just use my beauty sponge, which I use all the time. This one is the Wet n Wild one. I've been using this for the last couple of weeks and I really do like it. I actually prefer it to the Real Techniques complexion sponge. And before I apply the foundation, I'm going to use a primer, and this one is a new favourite of mine that I've been using for the last couple of weeks that I've absolutely been loving, and this is the Collection Primed and Ready Mattifying Pore Minimizer, and this stuff is so good. Again, Collection, super affordable, and this also helps out if you do have acne prone skin or if you do have blemishes. And as you guys can see, I have a lot of blemishes at the moment. I have a lot of redness. This also has witch hazel in it as well, which is perfect for helping out with those, and it also is mattifying, and if you're super oily like me, this is a great product. Now that I can feel that the primer is all settled in, I'm going to apply the foundation. I don't know how much is to use. I don't know if the colour match is going to be any good. It looks like it might match in the bottle, but this is frosted glass, so it's probably so much darker. This does say it's for medium skin tones with warm undertone, so there wasn't really, I don't think, one that had light medium. I can't really remember, but I thought I'd grab this one because it might match me when I'm self-tanned, which is at the moment, as you guys can see, my face and my neck are completely different colours because I don't self-tan my face because it is so sensitive, but I do self-tan the rest of my body, so I use a foundation that I feel like is probably going to match my neck, so hopefully this one's going to be good. But at the moment I'm looking at it in the bottle and it looks quite dark, so we're just going to put one pump on my hand. So that was pretty much one pump. It looks like it might match. Hopefully it doesn't oxidise, because if it doesn't oxidise, this will probably be a really good match for me. It doesn't feel really thick, it doesn't feel really thin, it just looks like a really nice consistency. So I'm going to apply this to one side of my face on one layer, and then we'll see what the difference is between this side and the other side. So with one layer, it doesn't look like full coverage. It looks like medium coverage because I can still see my blemishes coming through around here and then also on my head. But there's a massive difference between the before and after. As you can see, a lot of redness, on this side, a lot of blemishes, and on this side my redness has almost gone. It's just that I need to cover up these blemishes on here, so I'm just going to build up a little bit more of the foundation on the areas where I do have some blemishes. But I do like the coverage. I feel like the coverage is so pretty. It looks very natural on the skin, and I do like medium coverage. That's what I tend to go for, like medium coverages. I've just popped on a couple of spots here and we'll just see if it builds up. Now that I've added a little bit more of the foundation on the blemishes, it looks like full coverage. It looks so beautiful. It blends out so easily, builds up very easily as well. Doesn't look cakey, and it just looks natural on the skin, but it covers up pretty much all of my blemishes. And the before and after is very different, as you can see. A lot of blemishes, a lot of redness, and then on this side there's pretty much nothing. It's covered up everything that I had on my skin. It just looks so natural, so beautiful. My pores don't look accentuated, but I'm not too sure if that's because I did use my normal primer, which is a pore filling primer anyway. But I don't know, I really like it. I feel like it looks very natural, just really, really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead, do the other side of my face, and then we'll see what it looks like. I've applied the foundation on both sides and it just looks so beautiful on the skin. It looks very natural, doesn't look cakey. It just looks so pretty. It's covered up everything that I need it to, but it doesn't really look like I'm wearing any foundation. I feel like this shade is probably a shade too dark, and that's even with these filming lights on, it still looks a shade too dark. So I would just need to go a shade lighter with this, but I feel like the shade match I did okay on, because I thought it'd be probably like 3 or 4 shades too dark, but it's not that bad, to be honest. I probably can lighten it up a little bit with some powder and some concealer, but honestly, this is so pretty. I'm really impressed with it. I didn't think that it would be this good. I mean, for a foundation at £6, you expect it to look nice, but you don't expect it to look this nice. And I can't believe it's taken me so long to try out this foundation. And I do apologise for the way that my lips are looking. They are very, very dry at the moment, so they're looking a little bit horrible. But I'm going to go ahead and try out the concealer. The shade that I got is Biscuit 7, which is a couple of shades lighter than the foundation. I think it was light or light medium, it says it was going to be. And I have a feeling that this might be the best match for my neck, so this probably might be the best match for a foundation for me, but we'll see how it goes anyway, because it is a little bit lighter than the foundation. It does also have a doe foot applicator as well, which I love. I love my doe foot applicators. I'm glad that that is a lot lighter than the foundation, as you can see. I don't think it said what the coverage was like on this. I'm assuming it's going to be like medium coverage, and it does say that it's a matte formula as well, so that's what I like underneath my eyes because I'm super oily. I don't like the coverage of this. I can see my dark circles under my eyes, if you can see. So this isn't the best at the moment. Hopefully it builds up. It does say that it's a buildable concealer, but at the moment I am liking my e.l.f. camo concealer a bit more than this. I feel like the camo concealer just has, it's just full coverage. It covers up everything and it's so creamy. This does feel creamy, but I just feel like that it's not as full coverage as I want. It has helped with redness, and it has lightened a little bit as well. I'm going to put a little bit more underneath my eyes because I feel like my under eye circles are showing through quite badly. It does build up very nicely, but for me, I'd probably get more coverage than this with just using one swipe of my e.l.f. concealer. Like I said, it's nice if you don't have any under eye circles, and it built up really nicely as well. So it does look very natural on the skin. It doesn't look cakey. It just looks very beautiful. So I like the way that it looks. However, it doesn't have enough coverage to what I would usually like for a concealer, but to be honest, for £4 it's really good. And if you want a light medium coverage, then this is probably going to be great for you, but for me, I do prefer fuller coverages. But I do like it. I feel like that it pairs very well together. So I'm going to go ahead, do the rest of my makeup, and then come back and show you what it looks like. So I've finished off my makeup, and this is what it looks like, and it looks so beautiful on the skin. It looks very natural. It looks like full coverage. My skin just looks like skin, but better. It doesn't really look like I'm wearing anything. It doesn't look cakey at all. It's helped out with my pores, and the rest of my products just glided on so easily, and I'm shocked at how beautiful it looks. Like, I knew that it would look nice because it is a matte formula and it does say that it's buildable, but I'm shocked at how beautiful it actually looks, and it's only a £6 foundation, so super affordable. And I don't feel like I've had this look with a lot of high-end foundations that I've tried out. I go for drugstore makeup over high-end makeup pretty much the majority of the time, and it just, I don't know, it just looks so pretty. So the colour is one shade off. It is a little bit too dark, even in natural lighting, and also in these lights as well. You can tell that it's a little bit different, but other than that, it's pretty, it's beautiful, it looks like my skin but better, and I'm so happy with the way that it looks. With a concealer, again, that's beautiful, and it blended out so nicely. It pairs really well with the foundation as well. It's just one of those where I would prefer a full coverage concealer over this one, just because I do have dark under eye circles. If I didn't have dark under eye circles and I just wanted a light concealer, this would be a really good concealer for me, and I feel like I would use it on days where I just want a no makeup look, because it just looks so pretty, and I feel like the shades pair very well together as well. So it's now 2:30 in the afternoon. I have had this on for over an hour now, and I'm going to come back in a few hours. I'll give you a little update during the day so you can see what it looks like in natural light and see how it goes. Then I'll give you a final update and final review at the end of the day as well. I'm going to try 8 to 10 hours, but we'll see how it goes, and I will see you in a bit, guys. Bye. It's now 6 o'clock, so I've had the foundation and concealer on for 4.5 hours now, and I just wanted to do a little check-in with you guys so you can see what it looks like in natural light and also see what it looks like after the halfway mark. So looking at my skin at the moment, it still does look pretty good. I do look a little bit shiny on my forehead, and then also my pores are accentuated, and so are my blemishes. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I think it's because it is a shade too dark that's the reason why it looks a little bit different compared to if it was to match my neck. But yeah, as you can see, it is a shade different right here, so that's the only thing that I would say. The shade match is not the best on my part, but my skin doesn't actually look that bad at the moment. It does now look like I am wearing foundation. It doesn't look cakey though, and the rest of my makeup is still on, and it still looks really nice. It hasn't come off on any areas. As you can see, it's still on around my cheeks and around my forehead, and then also my nose. And because my forehead is looking a little bit shiny, I'm just going to use my fingers and see if I can blot off any of the excess oil and see if any of it transfers, because it does say it's sweat proof, and it also says that it's transfer proof as well. So I'm going to put it to a test and see if it actually is. So just going to dab on my forehead. Nothing has come off on my finger. This is transfer proof, and it hasn't come off on my forehead either. It's stayed there, so it's doing really well. I'm happy with it. I feel like it looks pretty good still at the 4.5 hour mark, and I'm going to come back in a few hours, give you my final check-in, and let you know how it goes throughout the rest of the day. It's now 11 o'clock in the evening, so I've had this foundation and concealer on now for 9.5 hours, and now is the time for me to get it off because I'm so tired, and I feel like I've kept it on for a very, very long time. So just looking at my skin now, I'm just going to see how it looks. So it is very, very shiny on my forehead, also my cheeks, and also my chin. It has come off on my chin as well, and it is starting to look cakey because it has been on for such a long time. So it has done well for 9.5 hours. I am obviously looking very oily at the moment and very shiny, but it hasn't really come off on all of the areas. So it has come off on my chin a bit. That's looking very oily. Sides of my face look pretty okay. Then also my cheeks, it looks good. On my nose it looks good, other than it's just come off on the sides around here where it is looking still oily again, and then it's come off a little bit on my forehead. But to be honest, it's done way better than I thought it would do. It has gone into my pores and also in my laughter lines around here, so it has sunk into those. But for 9.5 hours of wear, this has done so well. The fact that it's £6.50 and it's actually done pretty much the same as some of my higher end foundations that I have, I feel like it's done really, really well. And when I first applied it, I felt like it looked very beautiful, very natural on the skin, and it built up very easily as well. It blended in so quickly, I hardly even needed to blend it in, and then it just looks so good on the skin. And the colour match was the only thing that was really a letdown for me, because it was a shade too dark, and it still looks too dark at the moment. But I feel like that if I did get a shade that's a little bit closer to match my neck, then it'd probably look a little bit better and wouldn't look as crazy going into my laughter lines and going into my pores. But yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with how it's done. I feel like I'll buy a lighter shade and then probably try this again and see how it goes. But so far, I do actually like it, and I feel like it's done pretty good for a drugstore foundation. It is pretty long wearing. On my skin, because I do have super oily skin, it will not last for 16 hours, but I feel like for 9.5 hours it's done really well. I did notice that after the 6-hour mark it did start to look oily on the skin, but to be honest I'd probably just need to blot and powder, then it would look good to go. This does say that it's transfer proof and also sweat proof, and I feel like it is pretty sweat proof because at the moment it's not too hot over here, it's still quite cold, but I feel like it's done really well on controlling my oils during the day, because usually if I have a foundation on that's very oily, then it will start to break apart, and it hasn't really done that, just pretty much a little section right on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blot and powder and see how it goes. Earlier on when I did test it out, it didn't transfer, which was really good, but I want to see if it does transfer on my blotting papers. So it has actually transferred on the blotting paper. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be, because looking at my skin I did look pretty oily, so it's not that bad to be honest, and it doesn't really look like it's come off of my head. So I'm going to powder and I'll see if it stays on. It looks so much better now that I've blotted and powdered, and I don't look shiny on any of the areas. It has come off a little bit still on my nose from when I was taking all of the oils off, then also my forehead it has come off a little bit. It's not that bad to be honest on the forehead, and also in the chin it's come off, but it's not that bad as being as it's lasted this long, 9.5 hours of wear, and I feel like that it may have done better than the Galan foundation that I tried out in my last first impression. So I am pretty impressed with the foundation. I feel like it's done really well, and I'll continue to use this. Like I said, I will get a shade lighter because it is very dark, and I want to see if it works any different with it being a little bit more close matched to my neck. And then with the concealer, I don't really like it. It has settled into my fine lines underneath my eyes. I don't really have a lot, but it makes my eyes look so much older than they actually are, and I don't get that with the e.l.f. camo concealer that I use. Also, I did need to build this up a lot as well. I did need to use 2 layers of this, and it still wasn't the coverage that I like. So if you do like light medium coverage concealers, then you probably would like this, or if you like to have the no makeup days, then it's probably a good thing. And also if you don't have any wrinkles under your eyes, then I'd say go ahead and get this. But for under the eyes, this isn't good for me. It just accentuates it. It makes my eyes look so much older than they actually are. So for me, the concealer is a thumbs down. I will not be reusing it just because I don't feel like it's the best thing for me, but the shade was pretty good. And with the foundation, I do like it. I will continue to use it, but I will get a shade lighter. So this is my first impression of the Lasting Perfection concealer and foundation. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you've tried these out and if you like them, if you don't, just comment down below to let me know, and make sure that you give this video a very big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.